Welcome to DIY for Homeowners.
We're mother-daughter projects.
I'm Steph.
I'm Vicki.
And today, this project is all moms. I don't think I did anything on this project besides maybe get some video footage, and I'm recording the narration because Mom doesn't like to do that.
Because I don't want to do that.
But what are we doing today, Mom?
Oh my goodness, I am so excited. This project has actually been in the works for 2 years. I've been talking about it for 2 years.
She has, I can testify.
Yes, I found a bunch of old Women's Day magazines. They're from the mid-century, from the 60s, and in one of those issues was a collection of Christmas gifts. And one of them were these birds, and I thought, I have got to have those. But this past August, we got a scroll saw, and I knew as soon as we got that saw, my first project was going to be these mid-century birds.
We're going to show you in the written post, we're going to show you the actual magazine because it's very limited in the details it gives. So if you really want to do this, we're hopefully going to give you a little bit more details than they did back in the day.
And literally, it is maybe 6 lines of text, and they assume you know how to cut these out. They assume you know how to route something. They assume a lot of different things, and these days you can't assume anyone knows about word work.
And we do want to thank the Home Depot for sponsoring today's project as part of the Prospective campaign. And as always, all the tools and the written description will be in the link below, and that will take you to our website.
Now let's get started.
First, Mom found some scrap wood in the garage to use for the birds. This is the pattern that we copied from the magazine and printed, making sure each square was 1 inch. She cut out the pattern and marked where to cut the board.
One of the things I was determined to do on this project was use a miter saw all by myself because I have this unreasonable fear of the miter saw. But I read the manual and I figured it out and I did my very first cut. Well, when I did that very first cut, I realized I had to learn how to do the sliding part. So you'll see in the video where I've cut one side, flip it over, and cut the other side, and it worked.
Next, Mom traced a piece of contact paper to the size of the wood and placed it on top. This will give her a surface to attach the pattern to without leaving glue residue on the wood. Next, she sprayed the back of the pattern with spray adhesive and put it on the contact paper. And now on to cutting. This is a scroll saw. It may look intimidating, but Mom says it's just like using a sewing machine. And she used to do a lot of sewing. That's one reason why she really likes this tool. She set the tension at 3.5 and is working at full speed. And just so you know, this video clip is sped up. It doesn't go this fast. Mom continued to cut out 5 birds. And once it's cut out, Mom pulled the pattern and contact paper off, leaving the wood residue free. To smooth the edges, Mom is using the Dremel Light 4-volt rotary tool on the Dremel Shaper/rotary table.
We used a lot of Dremels on this project, including a battery-powered Dremel rotary tool, and I love this. We put it into this Shaper router table, which I've actually never used before, but it was so easy because it didn't have that cord to have to deal with, and it just went in there and it worked absolutely perfect.
Then Mom lined up all 5 of the birds and clamped them together. She marked the bottom where the holes were to be drilled for the dowels. To give the base a finished look, Mom is using another Dremel. She attached a chamfer router bit, along with the cutting guide, which replaces the nose cap for this application. A quick sand to clean it up, then mark the points where the birds will sit on the base.
Here we're using a simple jig that we made with 2 square pieces of wood. We glued them together, and this helps us make a nice perpendicular cut when we're using our drill.
Mom marked the depth with painter's tape and drilled the holes. Then Mom painted the dowels. She put a binder clip on both ends and hung them up to paint. Then she got some fun deco art paint in mid-century colors for the birds. She started by painting the base black. Then she painted each bird a different color, doing 2 coats on each bird. Can you tell which one is my favorite bird? Let me know in the comments below. Then Mom cut the dowels to size and assembled. And here it is, just like the magazine, but even better, because Mom did it herself.
What we learned! Well, we means Mom, because again, she did all this project. So Mom, I know you learned a lot of stuff in this project. The first thing I know, because we talked a lot about this, was blades. What did you learn about blades?
Well, I thought blades were blades. Well, I found out differently. A friend of ours, a blogger friend of ours, also got a scroll saw and did a really, really good article about scroll saws, which you need to know as a beginner. And one of the things he talked about were these blades. So I tried these and it was like butter. I could not believe how much better these were. So blades matter.
We used the pattern from the magazine to make these birds, but Mom, was there anything you learned learned about that?
Yes. Now, the picture in the magazine is literally probably 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch. And if you've ever scanned anything, you know you get a lot of pixelation. So I don't know if we could have done any better with the resolution, but once it was scanned and it was enlarged, it was very, very pixelated. And the thing I found out about the pixelation was the birds actually weren't flat in the bottom, but in the pattern it looked like they were flat. So when I enlarged one of the pictures, when I got ready to put the birds in place, I realized, no, those birds are curved. My takeaway from this is if you can't get a really high resolution image, is to look at the final project, a picture of it, and look at what your graphic looks like and fix it if it needs to be fixed. Like if I'd known that, I would put the curve in the bottom.
So Mom, if you had one piece of advice, what would it be?
My piece of advice would be to practice, practice, practice. And that's what I've been doing pretty much every day. I get out here, usually after dark when it's gotten cooler, and just scroll. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I just do it and learn every single time.
But what have you made? Show us what you made.
Okay, what I made, and they're not finished yet, but obviously this is a greyhound, a little greyhound, and this is gonna have the word shop dogs on it. I'm actually working on that right now. And this is gonna be one for Steph's front door. And I actually made probably twice the number of birds I needed just because I wanted to practice it. And then this is really cool. This is a little 3D model that is actually based on a chess piece, and I thought I could make a little tree, and I did.
Nice. Well, that might be coming in your future tutorial on little trees for Christmas. Let us know if you are interested in that. Also, please give us a thumbs up on this video if you are proud of Mom, like I am, for making this project all by herself on the scroll saw. I'm really proud. I haven't actually even touched our scroll saw. I'm not afraid of it or anything, but it's all Mom's, and so I may make something, but I don't know. I don't know if she'll let me have a chance on it.
I don't know. We'll give her time on the saw.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm the miter saw. She's the scroll saw.
Although I'm learning. I learned on the miter saw.
She's taking over the miter saw
Yes.
too. Man, what's happening here? So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye. If you want to see Mom's very first time using a miter saw, you can look at this video. It's also a nice 101 on how to use a miter saw.
And if you want to see my very first project that I did all by myself, it's a painting project, and you can see that right here.
Good job. You pointed good. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, you pointed.
Okay, good.
Did she point at it? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know if she did that right.